You can convert your image from color to black and white, and then you can create different layers. So what I'm doing here is taking the black and white and going to the mode and turning that into grayscale to convert it into black and white. And once it's converted in black and white, you can go to the mode again and make sure that you're in RGB color. Then you add that layer over there. So what you do after that is you click on here, like you can create layers or delete layers, and you actually start drawing there, or you can use a brush using the colors from here. And what I've also done is I've created the swatch, where you can look at the swatch here from this color, and I've shown the video in class how to create your own swatch from the image using Adobe Color. You can go to the website, and it is also on D2L. So you can see that from here I'm using this images and I'm using layers, and what I'm doing is basically I'm using the brush strokes, but you can see that there's a difference in the way the brush shows on transparent background compared to the image background. So this is another way of dividing up the space. So I can go in here, I can choose the color I want, and then go in here and select this layer and either use different other brushes, or I can just go in, take normal brush, and we can go back and forth using Alt and actually redoing it, in the sense that look at the tone and shade and get the tone and shade of where how your light will work in relation to the color. So what you're doing here is you're actually taking advantage of both the black and white and the color and creating your own way of working with it. So you can also use the swatch. I can go in. There's subtle differences. You can also take it from the darker areas. And you can change the hardness if you want to make it softer. The further away it is, the softer the brush will become. So you can see that I'm covering the broad areas using the brush tool, and you can also use the mixer brush tool. Remember Shift brush. And sometimes you have to actually feel your brush, feel your color, and what brush you're using. It makes a big difference in terms of how you're using your brush, which direction you're going. That is also important. But that creates the texture, the shape, and the form. So this is one way of doing that, and you can see that how it's coming out. You can go and then fill it in, take your shape, and then you can later on, if you want to flatten it with the black and white, you can flatten it by going to the tool here. This is called the sandwich, and then you can go in, you can merge down or flatten. Flatten will give you the option of saving it as a JPEG, but you don't need to flatten it till you have actually completed, and when you're submitting you can flatten it. So right now you can see that you have got many options of getting color. I'm using the mixer brush as well as to get the definition, reflective color, ambiance color, everything that we talked about works here. You can change the wetness, spread it out more. You can change the rate of mixing. So this is kind of a reverse technique where you go from broadening the space and form and textures, and then going into what do you call the detailing, which comes much later. So you can see the result of how the forms are getting there, your textures are getting there, and the shapes are getting there, and then slowly you develop the details. Hope that helps.